Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is fairly common in the production world. It's not something that's really talked about, and that is using amphetamines to augment your abilities in the studio, to put in the long hours of production and really get down and focus. Um, it's tempting for a lot of people. It tempted me, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about my experience. So this came from we'll call him a mentor of mine. I was getting started, and when you're getting started, you need to really focus and be there and make tunes, get things out there. Because how it works is you'll make tracks, and then you'll send that out to a label, and it might get rejected, and you say okay, and then you make another track, you send it out. You do things called well, in my day, when I was starting out, it was like 10 years ago, you'd do these remixes, unsolicited remixes. And this was before everyone did remixes of everything. So you'd do these remixes and then send them to a label, and hopefully they would pick it up. And then that would give you, more work, and you'd get a little bit of royalty, a little bit of support, and you get your name out there. That's basically what was going on. And he said, you gotta start doing amphetamines. That's how I did it. This is how a lot of people do it. Back in the early UK hardcore days, it was kind of prevalent, and it is now. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to enhance your performance in order to kind of get up there? You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, that occurred, and I have had ADHD, ADD, debatable my entire life, and I got a prescription. And the thing about Adderall or Dexedrine or even Ritalin is it's really interesting. It doesn't hit you like that. You'll take it and you'll kind of not realize that you're on it until like 45 minutes after you've essentially peaked. It's really kind of, it's like a gentle background situation, and you're like, okay, I haven't closed my eyes in like 10 minutes, and you get like this tunnel vision sort of thing. So a couple notes to touch on, and this is part of like, overall the producer health. There is a massive trade-off. What it does is what it does when it alleviates the ADD, ADHD is it prevents your mind from wandering, and you focus on your book report or whatever you're doing, which is, keeps you on a linear path. But music production requires divergent thinking. It requires you to venture and try new things. When you're on Dexedrine or Adderall or any kind of stimulant, you are just color by numbers. Like, there's no creativity. Kills creativity, and it pretty much kills motivation as well, and it's highly abusable. I started at 10 milligrams, and that was all great, but I would just not do anything compared to before. Like, before I had that dopamine drip, I wanted to get out there, and then I just kind of got stagnant, and it was just so easy for me to just open Minecraft and start playing that. Um, so it's tempting to want to augment your time in the studio, but I think I think you should refrain from doing that, because it really expedites something called burnout, which you will definitely experience. Burnout is, it happens in a lot of professions where you just have enough of it. It happens in counseling, like therapists, things like that. Music producers, touring musicians. At the beginning, you're like, "Oh my God, I'm getting on a plane to play a show," and then eventually, you're just like, "Ah, fucking planes! I hate planes. They suck. I hate this. I hate getting up at 6 in the morning." And a couple of years prior, you would have killed to be able to get on a plane. You lose excitement, and I think that Dexedrine and stimulants, things like that, of the pharmaceutical, chemical, refined kind of situation hinders that. Johnny Cash talked about how he was just basically blasted on amphetamines for a lot of his touring, and he hated it. It does that. You have to focus and not be tempted by these things, because I started at 10 milligrams, and I was bumping up to 30 with diminishing returns, and I don't have a whole lot to show for it. I think like as of right now, like using the best time in the day to get quality work done, which is what I do now. I get the quality work done as opposed to like quantity, you know what I mean? And I break it up. So, in the morning I'll check and I'll do administrative stuff, blah blah blah. And then, I might do a couple videos in the evening, and at night I'll do something else. I'll vacuum or something. The idea of sitting and focusing for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours is you can do it in the beginning, and I recommend you do, because you have the ability and you're learning things and you're getting that feedback loop of discovering things, making things, and you get that dopamine drip going on. You're creating, but then you start getting, there's the expression of first you get good, then you get fast. I think how it applies to electronic music production is first you get good and then you get efficient, right? I'm very efficient with my time. I don't mess around anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm always doing a different thing, and I think breaking up your day, things like that, is good for you. So highly prevalent in the electronic music production community. You know what I mean? Like you have all these things to do, all these things you want to do. And you're just like, yeah, let's just take a bit of speed, and I'll just pile through it. Which eventually, like your adrenals and all that, your brain down regulates, and you're in the dust, and it takes a little while to recover. And you do, you know what I mean? Like I'm not at all tempted, because yeah, you'll do a bunch of menial things, but you'll have no creativity, you'll have no divergent thinking, you'll just kind of, it's like, drawing in the lines and things like that. Like in a coloring book, you're not thinking outside the box, innovating within yourself, things like that. Anyway, one symptom of ADD is I digress a lot, but whatever. I think these videos are enjoyed by some. So if you enjoyed the video, continue checking out the links in the description down there. Support me on Patreon, subscribe, share, and things like that. And stay healthy, stay away from the bad stuff, because it's like not a good thing in my opinion. But if you are, consult a physician. Don't listen to what some guy in a hat and a sweater on YouTube says. Consult a real physician. Very important before you go on or off medication. Anyway, take care and have a good one.